Kind of funny.
I love it. Okay.
But with this Pito fight rewrite in mind, where would you want to include a poof fight?
First
An
question is
actual
who
one.
would be
So
best
the
for Poof to
easiest
fight?
option, huh?
The first question is who would it be best for Poof to fight?
Exactly. So the easiest options without getting overly crazy, like having him fight, hypothetically Yuppie, because Yuppie hasn't proven his loyalty. Like before we get into more crazy ones, the easiest options are he just actually fights Morel,
That's what I was gonna
he
say.
just actually fights Knuckle, or he just actually fights Killua, or I'll give a fourth one, he fights Palm.
I think
Because Palm
Morel.
actually was strong. But Killua literally said, like, yeah, I think she's stronger than me, so she is strong.
Morel of all those options would be my pick. You could have him fight Killua,
Yeah.
assuming Killua's Godspeed timer runs out, and so base Killua has to fight him.
The problem is then Poof would just destroy him.
Yeah,
That's the problem. Godspeed Killua can only fight a full powered Poof for this to be fair. And then if the timer runs out, Poof's just gonna blitz him and kill
I
him.
mean, would you be fine with seeing the partial version of Poof versus Killua in a close fight?
Even that, I mean, it just is the case. Like, if Killua doesn't have Godspeed, he just gets bodied, even by the
Okay.
partial Poof.
Hmm.
See,
Yeah, so
like
I think
Morale
Morel's just
really is
best.
the best because
Yeah.
Knuckle. I mean, the problem is because all three of the Royal Guards are just relative. They all have their differences and where their strengths are, but like as
Hmm.
commands, they're all relative.
Yeah.
So the only one who really does have an actual chance is Morale, and that is a losing battle. You do have to rewrite it though, for sure. Morale going into this invasion was only at like 40% or whatever he said because of all the shit he was doing in the week leading up to it. Um,
I don't even
so you'd have
remember
to
that.
rewrite it to where
That's
he
crazy.
just got freshened up. Or I've
Yeah.
actually been curious. I've never actually asked you about this. The other option is just have Nove not be a scaredy cat and he just is there fighting with
Oh, that's
Morel
cool.
against Poof.
I can see that. I'm
Because I
fine
was
with
going to ask you,
Nom going the way it
how do
happened.
you feel about the Nove scaredy thing personally?
I think it's cool. I think it also works considering what they did with Welfin towards the end of the arc.
Yeah. Because, like,
Obviously,
on one
that
hand,
was about Pito
I
rather
like,
than anyone else.
yeah,
But I like that because again, that's showing what Gon faced. In fact, they're literally directly calling back to that moment. Nova is like, "How did you do it, Gon?" And then again, Gon
exactly. I
continues to do it even after that, both before and after. So I think that's
mean,
really
something
cool.
you could,
Still
another
just is
option
what
you
it
could
is.
do to keep all of Nove being scared, but at the end of the arc, he comes back
Well, he
and
does that
he
anyways.
does fight with Morel against Poof. Like, he overcomes that.
Well, if you remember, he does go to the castle in the end, so he does overcome
He
it in
does,
the
but
end.
he's freaking shivering. He has no hair left.
Yeah, it looks cool though. I'm glad that they went all out with that form. Again, like
Yeah.
Welvin, who aged like freaking 20 years, freaking just like Gon did again.
Yeah.
So I'm
It's
glad
kind
that
of
he looks
tricky,
as
though.
ugly as he does.
I know.
Ridiculous as it
I think
is.
on one hand I loved it, the other hand I hated it because I was like, oh no.
I mean, hey,
But
I didn't really care for Nove before that anyway, so I was fine with it. It was satisfying to
his
me, if
his
anything.
ability now was insane. He just freaking cut a dude's head off with his space time part.
Yeah, no, it was definitely cool, that's for sure.
But
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 that made it all the more
hypothetically though,
satisfying.
what I was gonna say though is if you have Nove come back and Morel just is at full power, now they can have an actual good fight up against Poof. They can lose, the fight can stalemate, whatever it is. But at least they have a chance. Because otherwise they're all just getting bodied. Everything's their 1v1s.
If anything, I think people like Ebisu should have been what Nove was in Naruto.
Someone who gets scared. Wait, hold on. Which way are we going? Is
The
Nove supposed to be
cool
like
Nove.
Ebisu or Ebisu like Nove?
Ebisu should have been like Nove, where he had a cool moment. Yeah, he fights pain or whatever, but
Yeah.
that was sort of just a beatdown. I want him to do the
That was
cool
really just
Nove
a
P-head thing as
Konohamaru
he.
moment.
Yeah, exactly. I want to see Ebisu doing successfully a high rank cool mission or whatever. Just seamlessly,
Yeah.
effortlessly. Show why he's special Jonin or whatever.
Yeah, like he's handpicked for this mission and he just is cool on it.
Exactly, he's just good. He does it efficiently. Just like no. And a high rank mission too. Gotta be something good. Because again,
Yeah,
like Nova's risking his
I agree.
life. He knew what he was doing. He's a high rank elite hunter. I don't even know how to like word it. Not schmarmy, not pretentious, but like fancy royal kind of
I know
attitude.
he just feels like a fan. He feels like he does pinky up.
I don't know about that because I mean it in like
Yeah,
a
I know.
good way rather than the
I
typical
know. That
bad
was kind of a
way.
joke. He's got the
Okay,
suit on. He's a
exactly.
businessman. I don't know.
Yeah.
He's a lawyer.
But no, you definitely could have him come back and fight Poof. But I do like Morel because obviously Knuckle and Shoot. I don't think that Knuckle should have done it because Yuppie was their fight, both Knuckle and Shoot.
Exactly. That was their guy. They already finished their
Yeah.
fight, and they couldn't beat Yuppie anyway. So why are we having him stand a chance against Poof? And it's just Knuckle at
Exactly.
that point. Like,
Yeah.
and I find Knuckle picking the fight, but then I guess Morel can be the one to actually do it. Or either that, or if you want, they could just fight in the Smoky Jail. But it depends on whether you
Mhm.
want to keep the Poof trick where he's just leaving it, like whatever. But
Well, I think it's fine if Poof leaves as long as he doesn't divide himself into a trillion different pieces. Like he can just have like 1, 2, or 3 different like Poof things to be at like 97% to fight Morel. That's fine.
yeah, or he can just have it be half strength and fight Morel. Because he did say that if Morel didn't give in or didn't undo the jail as soon as he did, then Poof wouldn't have been able to like. You could just rewrite it to where Poof has half or hell 66% of them escapes the barrier. The last third stays to fight Morel. You could always do that too.
I mean, some of
So then
my
you're just scaling. Okay, 1/3 Poof is Morel level, which is actually freaking insane.
yeah, some of my favorite Poof stuff is when he's like behind Gon, who's sitting there calmly
Yes, I know.
watching Pito,
He's saying all his things. He's coming up with his strategy and all that stuff is cool.
and Gon's just denying all of it. He's so cool.
I know, like
He sees through everything.
just
The
you're
most
lying.
calm aura of
like,
all time, most calm rage. Just so smart. He's
uh,
because you'd think he'd be like so tunnel visioned on Pito, but no, he is hyper aware of every inch of that room at all times.
I know.
So cool.
It's kind of like Hisoka. This is kind of sound ridiculous, but like it is kind of the same thing. Like Goen's senses for everything just were heightened the same way after the dodgeball match.
Yeah.
Hisoka was just like everything. He noticed everything. So Kaluto just secretly way in the back and using Zetsu. Yeah, Hisoka just knows she's there or he's there.
Yeah.
Some of the gender stuff does confuse me with Hunter x Hunter.
Sure.
And when it's not explained, I'm like, I don't know which you are.
What I want to say about the Gon Poof situation is that I think Poof should have just been way stronger than Gon there, but Gon makes me feel like he was stronger. Like if Poof did try and attack him at his back, Poof would have died. It makes you feel that way.
I mean, it's the same with Pito. Pito is way stronger than Gon at that time, but Gon had Pito afraid.
Exactly.
Because Gon just was being scary, even though he wasn't as strong as any of the Royal Guards yet. He just had them like very concerned.
And Poof, yeah, I would agree with that because Poof, I don't think was scared of Gon. I think he was anxious of Gon, concerned of Gon, something else.
Yeah, he was worried. Pito was like super scared that Gon would kill Kombuki.
Yeah.
Poof was very concerned that Pito doing what she was doing at the time, protecting Kombuki. He doesn't like that, obviously. And then the way Gon's being with everything, the fact that he's picking up on all these, like I think Poof literally says, "This boy is trouble."
Exactly.
Because like he's not letting all of Poof's lies slip, you know.
He's taking him seriously, and of all people who just would have strucken Gon into the back if he could have, it would have been Poof. Of all people.
Yeah, he was his. Gon literally called him out for it. Because before Pito said, like, Poof, stop, like, that was his plan.
And, like, obviously the Gon Killua stuff is great when Gon's confronting Pito, but even freaking when Knuckle comes in and Gon's like, Knuckle, don't be tricked by Poof. It's, like, so cool, bro. Like, the way he's treating all his comrades, and Knuckles just being, like,
I know.
even dumber than Gon.
He's got that very serious, cold, like, sound.
That's why that's my favorite set of episodes. Easily, it's just all the Gon stuff there.
The whole I mean, honestly, for me, it's once net Meruem gets to that palace, that's where the arc really sets off for me. Before then, like I enjoyed it, but it's really then where it really starts to pick up. Granted,
Okay.
I don't know, like in the manga for comparison, I'm just guessing. If I had to pick, like I know that the first several parts, basically pre-Palace, is quicker in the manga. I'm also assuming
Mm.
the like Knuckle and Shoot versus Go and Killua training arc thing is probably quicker in the manga as well. Because if you were to pick a low point, that's probably where someone would probably pick. Not that I didn't enjoy it, but like that doesn't have a whole lot to do with like the Chimerians.
Yeah. Okay.
Also, okay, real quick on the rewatch. I didn't realize some of the insane shit they did with Palm in some random scenes. Like, there'd just be random scenes. I was like, dude, shout out to the voice actor. Like, I didn't notice some. Like, I knew Palm was weird, but like, there's some other like one scene like they're like they're just at some restaurant and just in the background, Palm's just like she got the heart eyes and she's making all these weird noises. Or when she goes, she starts like shaking around, going, she's making this squealing noise. That's pretty funny, especially in the dub, at least. I was like, bro, shout out to that voice actor.
This is ridiculous. I love it.